Arizona, the ghosts of Slaughterhouse Canyon. I'm here for it already. During the 1800s, there was a family who lived down in the canyon. They were very poor, so the father would venture out into the canyon for food for his family. As you might have guessed, one day the father did not return, so his family slowly starved and descended into madness. The next day, she succumbed to starvation. The legend states that if you go down to Slaughterhouse Canyon at night, even now you will hear the loud, anguished cries of the mother who lost her mind. Did they not think that maybe... Okay, now I don't know their life. Well, I do now actually. They went mad and just starved to death. When the dad didn't return, maybe they should have gone outside. No? That would have been my first thought. It's like, well, how was the weather? They're in a canyon, it's fine. The dad didn't return, there's no food, we're starting to get hungry, maybe we should go out and look? That would be my first thought, but this is the 1800s, times were different, maybe they weren't allowed to leave the house, maybe the father said, you go outside, I'll return with a shotgun. Oh, I'm not very sympathetic today, sorry, I feel for them, they died. RIP. Vanishing Hitchhiker. Vanishing Hitchhiker is an urban legend in which people traveling by vehicle meet with or are accompanied by a hitchhiker who subsequently vanishes without explanation, often from a moving vehicle. This goes back to what I was saying earlier. This is the classic ghost story. If you drive down or pick someone up, it might be a ghost, they'll be in your car, they'll tell you to go somewhere, you'll arrive at your destination, and then when you get there, they'll be gone. Isn't that freaky? I don't know why, like, I understand needing to hitch a ride, but as ghosts, can't you just teleport? Fly? I don't know how ghosts travel. Like, zoom about? I feel like they don't need a car, I feel like they just think of a place and then they appear there. When I become a ghost one day, I'll let you guys know how travel works. Bloody Mary. Bloody Mary allegedly appears to individuals or groups who ritualistically invoke her name. This is done by repeatedly chanting her name into a mirror placed in a dimly lit or candlelit room. The name must be uttered 13 times, or some other specified number of times. Interesting. Yeah, again, this is another urban legend that appeared in the movie Urban Legend. I thought you only had to say Bloody Mary 3 times into a mirror, or 5 times. It's always 3 or 5 times. I've never heard 13 times for Bloody Mary. No wonder I've never been cursed, because I haven't said it enough. I'll go look in the mirror after this and say it actually, there's a mirror right there. I'll say it 13 times. Bloody Mary. The Hook Man. The Hook Man is an urban legend about a killer with a pirate-like hook for a hand attacking a couple in a parked car. In many versions of the story, the killer is typically portrayed as a faceless, silhouetted old man wearing a raincoat and rain hat that conceals most of his features, especially his face. This one's a classic. This one's depicted in so many movies, particularly the movie Urban Legend, which is classic. Okay, there's movies that take inspiration from the urban legend of Hookman, such as Candyman and I Know What You Did Last Summer. But yeah, this is a classic story. You know, a couple go to like Lover's Lane and then they hear noises outside the car, so the guy goes out to take a look and then he doesn't come back, and then the woman inside begins to hear scratching or tapping noises on the roof of her car. And then she tries to drive away. She realizes that the guy was on top of the car hanging. It depends, each variation is different, but the one I remember is like they move the car and then he hangs. Slender Man. Slender Man is a fictional character that originated as an internet meme created by Something Awful forums user Victor Surge in 2009. It is depicted as resembling a thin, unnaturally tall man with a blank and usually featureless face and wearing a black suit. The Slender Man is commonly said to stalk, abduct, or traumatize people. Slender Man's a classic. He is one of the OG creepypastas. He's also become the most mainstream famous. They even made a movie about him starring that girl I don't like, Joey King. Was she in it? Seems like a movie she'd be in. Or was it Maisie Williams? Hate them both. They both seem the same energy from both of those people, and I dislike them both. Anyway, Slender Man's very creepy. He lures children to the woods, brainwashes them, uses them to do his bidding, and then they bring more people to him. And then he just, kills people in the woods. Florida, the gravity-defying Spook Hill. The phenomenon that happens at Spook Hill is real. Cars that are parked in neutral will appear to roll uphill. Legends say the hill is either the state of a Native American burial ground or an epic battle of a Native American chief against a crocodile. But But the truth is, it's actually just an illusion created by the hill surroundings. While cars appear to be rolling uphill, they're still just rolling downhill. Oh, now that I'm looking back at it, it doesn't look uphill anymore. Like, in the distance, you can see that it goes up. That's down. But I get it. When I first looked at it, I thought that was rolling uphill. But I like that everything, when people can't explain anything, or the strange things go on, they're like, it was built atop a native burial ground. It's the same plot in every horror movie as well. It's like, the house is haunted. It was built atop a native burial ground. The many legends of Riverdale Road. One day there was a driver who hit a jogger, freaked out and left him for dead. Now it's said that if you park at the site of the crash, you'll hear disembodied footsteps getting closer and closer to your car. People have reported handprints on their windows and banging noises as if someone was kicking the outside. That is frightening. That's like a classic urban legend of don't drive down this road, someone died there. You'll see in your mirror someone sat in the back seat, or it's always a bride in white. There's always a bride who died on their wedding day, and then she will appear in your back seat of your car if you drive down a certain road at a certain time. It's classic ghost business. I love it. Alabama Hell's Gate Bridge. Oh, I love this one. There are two legends associated with Hell's Gate Bridge. One, that if you drive your car out to the middle of the bridge and turn off the lights, the couple will magically appear in your car and leave a wet spot on the seat. The other, which is how the bridge got its name, is the belief that if you drive over the bridge and look over your shoulder halfway through, the scenery behind you turns into a portal to hell engulfed in flames. That is amazing. I've seen this, I've spoken about this on Top 5 numerous times actually, and there's videos of people visiting Hell's Gate Bridge. Obviously, it's a legend for a reason. Legends are rarely true. But it's very freaky nonetheless. Sewer alligator. Sewer alligator stories date back to the late 1920s and early 1930s. It is an urban legend based upon reports of alligator sightings in rather unorthodox locations, in particular New York City. I know about this. There is actually a location somewhere, it might be New York. They have a statue of an alligator near a sewer to almost commemorate this. I could be lying, but I thought this was almost somewhat real, but not as real as people thought. I think people thought there were just like loads of alligators living in the sewers, but there weren't. Maybe they found one. But anyway, there's a legit statue. I've seen it. Not in person, but I've seen a picture. Curse of the Bambino. I know of the Bambino because of the movie The Sandlot, which I was obsessed with growing up, because growing up, all I wanted to be was an American child. Which is funny because now I live in North America. I've lived in America and Canada, and now I'm Canadian. But always growing up, I just wanted to be an American child. So I loved movies like The Sandlot. I loved The Mighty Ducks. I just wanted to be like them. I wanted to do everything they did. I wanted Chuck Taylor's Converse All-Stars. The curse of the Bambino was a superstitious sport curse in Major League Baseball derived from the 86-year championship drought of the Boston Red Sox from 1918 to 2004. The superstition was named after Babe Ruth, locally known as the Bambino, who played for the Red Sox until he was sold to the New York Yankees in 1920. Yeah, the curse... Well, no, the curse was drought from 1980 to 2004, but they're blaming on him. He was sold in 1920. Why is it his fault? He put a curse on them? I don't know specifically about the curse, I just know Babe Ruth. And they named a chocolate bar after him. And then again, I just know they referenced him many times in The Sandlot. Is it his fault? He left 2 years after the drought. I mean, if the drought's going on for 2 years, I'd probably have left too. He apparently hits a ball really great with a bat. I know that much.
November 28, 1969. A woman named Betsy Aardsma was killed silently while doing research in the Penn State University Library. Stabbed once in the heart, her pulmonary artery was severed. There was little external bleeding, and to top things off, she was wearing a red dress, so those nearby didn't notice immediately that she'd been stabbed. Worse yet, this murder is still unsolved.
That's nuts, man. And I love libraries too. I mean, one of my favorite parts in school was going to the massive library we had at university and just walking around and doing homework for an entire day. I could be there for 24/7. But that's just terrifying. Why would you take a library and turn it into a dangerous place? Evil people. again, that's the bystander complex of just like, oh, there's no way that's a gruesome murder. There's no way that's actually a dead body. There's no way, but then it is. Ugh, absolutely terrifying.
A woman enters a hospital terribly ill, but not with any known pathogen. However, everyone who comes into contact with her immediately becomes sick. And unfortunately, this really happened. In 1994, cancer patient Gloria Ramirez was rushed into an emergency room. Doctors and nursing staff began to note strange symptoms, like oil covering her body and a horrible odor. Blood samples contained unknown particles and smelled like ammonia. The smell was so strong that 23 nurses and other emergency staff fainted or felt ill, with 5 needing hospital treatment. And sadly, Ramirez died.
Oof, I was like, at first I'm like, that sounds like COVID, but it wasn't. That's something even worse. I can't imagine being a doctor. Doctors put their lives on the line all the time because someone could walk in to a hospital and have something nobody knows anything about, and it can infect everyone else. They are literally the first line of defense for every single virus that could potentially kill the human race, and I just, hats off to you guys. That's so creepy, though. That is an episode of Grey's Anatomy. That's... Woo!
The story goes that while riding along in an elevator, a person gets stuck between floors. After prying open the doors, they see that they're just a little above or below an exit point. Just as they decide to climb out, the elevator's power switches back on and shock. Hand, leg, or head gone. Sounds too ghastly to be true, right? Well, no. In 2003, Dr. Hitoshi Nakaido in Houston, Texas tried to enter a hospital elevator. Horribly, the doors malfunctioned, closing early and pinning his body. The elevator rose and chopped off his head.
Ooh, that's so awful. Ugh. I knew someone who had that happen to a guy on a train as well, like with the window and then another train passed. That's terrifying. I'd hate that. That's part of the reason I don't like being trapped in spaces. Not because I'm claustrophobic, but I worry kind of that I might have to play like the 127 hours game.
October 2005, motorists in Frederica, Delaware assumed that a body hanging from a tree was just a Halloween prop. But when state police finally went to investigate, they found that it wasn't just a decoration. An unnamed woman aged 42 had committed suicide. A similar incident involving a body on a barbed wire fence occurred in Ohio in 2015, but that time it was murder.
I mean, the scariest part about that video was also them showing images of The Conjuring, and I'm just waiting for something awful to happen because that is the scariest movie to me. Whew, I can't imagine. I mean, stumbling across that, like walking around in the forest. I mean, I used to live near a forest area in my hometown, and there was always rumors about people finding people hanging from their necks, like from trees and from the train paths. And I mean, of course they were urban legends, but imagine if they were real. That's awful. I would not want to be the person who found them. And also Halloween props look so real nowadays. Like you watch like TikTok people doing like makeup and then also people doing special effects props. They look so real. Why wouldn't you think? Or later, Toronto residents hear the tale of a lawyer who had peculiar fondness for running full bore into his office windows to demonstrate how strong they were. I haven't heard this and I live in Toronto, but I guess now's the time I'm hearing this. This practice caught up with him eventually as he crashed into a window and went sailing to his death. This hobby was actually practiced by Gary Hoy, a senior partner in an area law firm with an office on the 24th floor. On July 9th, 1993, Hoy made his signature tackle against the window to impress some visiting law students. The pane finally broke and sent him plummeting to his death. In a eulogy, this is gonna be brutal, isn't it? In a eulogy, managing partner Peter Lowers called Hoy one of the best and brightest at the firm. But he somehow managed to go, hey, this window's fine, and it broke. I mean, after years and years of wear and tear, maybe change it up with the amount of windows you're running into. Like, don't just make it the same window every single time, you know? Change it up. You know, hit every single window in the office. Make sure every single one's got some tender loving care. And then maybe that won't happen. Or at least it'll take you a few decades, like if you do one a year. This just sounds like poor planning from his side of things. The Bunny Man. In the tale, an escaped mental patient takes to gutting bunnies and hanging them from a bridge underpass. Later, the maniac is said to have graduated to gutting and hanging teens in a similar manner. Locals were cautioned to never be caught near the underpass, which is now known to most people as Bunny Man Bridge. on Halloween night. This story likely spawned from the very real presence of a roving madman in the area. In October 1970, a couple reported seeing a man dressed in a white suit and wearing bunny ears who began yelling at them that they were on private property. To punctuate his point, he threw a hatchet at their window screen, apparently shattering it. There was a second sighting of Bunnyman 2 weeks later when a security guard spotted a hatchet-wielding man chipping away at a porch railing. Police tried unsuccessfully to locate the man. While he didn't disembowel anyone, thank goodness, the thought of an adult wielding both a hatchet and a pair of rabbit ears somehow manages to be just as disturbing. That sounds like a naturalistic superhero, or like supervillain, you know what I mean? Like for some kind of average superhero to defeat. Like, they don't have any special powers. He's just this, like, really evil guy in a bunny suit. This is, like, a very dangerous furry. That's what that is. That's very strange. I mean, this is kind of like one of those urban legends, right? Where, you know, they go to Lover's Lane and then all of a sudden there's a bang on the window. I mean, I guess they're taken from something real, which is the most terrifying part about urban legends. The Maine Hermit. For decades, people who vacationed in central Maine's North Pond area were puzzled by items that would go missing. Socks? No. Batteries and food from cabins, flashlights from camping tents. Rumors spread that a permanent fixture of the area would forage for sustenance and supplies. They were right. For 27 years, Christopher Knight lived alone in the woods, keeping tabs on the hikers, canoeists, and other temporary residents of the grounds. When he was confronted by a game warden in 2013, Knight admitted he was responsible for an average of 40 robberies a year. Despite the likely protestations of family and friends who dismissed tales of a hermit lurking somewhere in the woods, his identification proved that someone had been watching and waiting for nearly 3 decades. Ugh! Anyone who goes to their cottage in the summer, you know, it's nice, it's a good escape. But if it's one of those cottages in the middle of nowhere, that's the most terrifying place for me because you're alone. And some people are like, I'm alone. But then other people are like, yo, you're alone, though. In 1987, the Chicago Reader published a story about Ruth McCoy, a woman living in Chicago housing project who made a frantic call to 911 insisting she was being attacked in her apartment. Responders eventually found her dead of gunshot wounds. Investigators determined that her assailants had gained access to her unit by breaking through the connecting wall in the adjoining apartment and climbing in through her medicine cabinet. What? The complex was built that way intentionally so that plumbers investigating leaks could simply remove the cabinet to check the pipes. It became a frequent mode of entry for burglars and, in McCoy's case, her killers. What? That's so sad. I mean, I wonder why this story is called The Candyman if it's about plumbers sneaking in through a plumbing hatch in a housing district, but that was not the story I expected. I thought the Candyman was gonna be the guy, God, I think it's like the Dreamscape dude? No, that's the Sandman. Guys, you know what I'm talking about, right? Comment below, remind me which one I'm talking about. Yeah, man, that's creepy. That's so sad.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That's the scariest one. Okay, that's the scariest one. Just thought for a second my heart stopped. I couldn't breathe with anticipation for that. I hate that. There's nothing I hate more than the sound of like footsteps getting closer and closer and closer and closer. And it's like, whew, that was a lot. That one hurt my heart. Oh my god. I didn't make a sound, but my body went into defense mode, which was apparently this. I felt my whole body seize as the clown. I knew something was in there. I didn't know the angle was going to switch up. The child's voice laughing freaked me the hell out. This is my defense mechanism. Oh, I love grave encounters. Yeah, it got me. Got me. Because I've only seen that movie once. I didn't know what the jump scare was going to be. Ooh, that did get me. It was really loud in the ears as well. That's waking me up at 8:47 on a Tuesday morning. Oh, I've never seen this before. What the heck? Okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be really horrific, loud screeching. The sound cue prior to the jump scare kind of made it better. I knew something was about to come. I like that. The anticipation of, oh, these fireworks going off. I've seen this one before. Many times, I know. Just the noise. Thankfully my volume was down pretty low. Thank God. I connect with these like scary children that pop up in videos. I'm like, oh, that seems like me. That's like me when I was a child. I was a scary child. Devil child. Oh, it's the noises. It's the noises. They're too loud and they hurt my ears. If there was no sound, I wouldn't be scared. It's the noise. And that's why I've said it once, I'll say again, we should just live in mute. Mute the earth. It's like still scares me, the anticipation. Because the animals. Oh, fuck. This one's freaky. Backstory, the squirrel goes over to the mousetrap, he gets its little nose stuck, and then behind it, a squirrel friend comes to say, hey, you doing alright? And then this guy's having a seizure, and then he... Nah. Okay, this didn't scare me because I don't find this version of the Woman in Black very scary. I don't find the woman very scary. Don't particularly like the movie in general. The best version is the 80s version, and if you know, you know. The ending of it, when the Woman in Black just appears above his head and screams in his face, and then he has a heart attack and dies. That is triggering. Ugh, look at him moving. I hate it. I just don't feel things anymore. I don't know. I've seen this movie. This was a really bad movie, and I think everyone can agree. No one said they watched Mama and liked it. I've never met someone who watched Mama and liked it. Even Jessica Chastain probably has regrets about appearing in this movie. The effects were horrific. What the heck's that? Oh, it's that owl thing. There's a name for it and I can't remember. Oh, I hate it. Oh no. Yeah. Oh, that's horrific. That thing, there's a name for that thing and I can't remember. Owlman? Let's just go with Owlman. It seems correct. I see that pop up everywhere. Not just in one location, everywhere. It's a thing. Are there multiple people dressing up as him? Or is it one person? Or is this a real Owlman? It's like Mothman, but Owlman. It's freaky. I hate his talons, his long claws. And he's wearing some kind of... He's like dressed in the nines though. He's like ready to go to a ball. Which, you know, respect.
Unfortunately, it seems that they ran in the opposite direction to the exit, and they can only leave by heading back into the tunnel. Almost immediately, they begin hearing strange cries coming from the darkness. Soon after, the figure approaches. In the light, we can see a pale, humanoid creature walking slowly toward them.
I don't see anything, but that's because of my glare. Oh, I saw something then. Oh, I saw something right at the end. It was like something out of Grave Encounters, you know? The creature that comes out through the window and it's like, hi, here I am. That's frightening. Oh, just the idea that they had to go back inside in order to get out. That's so frightening. It's like, again, everything comes back to as above, so below. They had to go down in order to get up. Makes no sense. I don't like it. I would just curl up in a ball and say, come get me when there's help.
On further investigation, they discover a small circle of lit candles on the floor of the room.
Ritual.
Before
Get
they can
out.
examine the candles closely, another strange noise sends them running from the building. Because the team was not alone at the site that night, they theorized that the candles came from the group that was leaving when they arrived. The configuration of the candles and their placement in the abandoned house seems to suggest that some sort of sinister ritual was taking place.
Creepy. Yeah, it's clear as day. Ritual. Rituals going on here. They're summoning the devil. They want it to come to this abandoned building, and then anyone who comes in is gonna die. R.I.P. to all of those people in this video. They did not make it out alive.
Holy shit. Like, what if that's where he kept these people captive and stuff, man?
Dude, I just
What?
saw something down there. There's somebody down there. There's
Oh my
something
God.
down there.
Dude, the f***ing door
Yeah,
is
there's
moving.
someone behind that door.
This door is literally open.
Dude, look, my camera's blurry. My
Yeah, we'll
camera's blurry.
focus it.
Holy fuck.
What the hell? What?
Nothing there?
No.
No animals?
No.
This is creepy, man.
Dude, I just want to get the hell out of this. What the f***?
Oh, I hate that. If you're a long-time viewer of the channel, you know I hate footsteps running. Like the sound of someone chasing you, or like that feeling when you're running up the stairs and you just have a feeling someone's chasing you from behind. I get that every time I go upstairs. I think someone's gonna start chasing me. At any given time, I could be chased. Oh, and I saw the door and I swear I saw hair. It looked like someone was behind the door. There's not a chance. I just wouldn't even be in there to begin with. You know that weird stuff's gonna happen. Even if it's not like real ghosts, it could be someone with you, you know?
There's something, guys. We have this.
I hate his mask.
We have to see what's behind it.
Oh, shit. Oh my god.
What the hell is that? Oh my god. God, no. It reminds me of the movie As Above, So Below. When they go into the tunnels, they go into the catacombs, and then there's just like a cult of witches down there, just doing like a ritual. Just having like this weird little ritualistic dance. They're all dressed up. They've got white face paint on. I don't like that. I don't want to stumble across anyone doing a ritual. I'm happy going through life never seeing that. I'm happy being the one doing the ritual. I just don't want to see other people doing it, you know?
And seeing him up close is more terrifying than Franco TV could have imagined.
That's it. That's him. Or her.
What is he doing?
I don't know. Zoom in here. What the hell?
What the fuck?
That's a dude.
Oh my god, what's he doing with his hand? Whoa.
Frank!
No. He was wearing some kind of mask. Could have been Michael Myers' younger brother. I don't know. He had a knife in his hand and was wearing a mask. I don't think it was a William Shatner mask, but close enough. That's so frightening, because this is just like some kind of suburban area, and this guy's going around with a knife, wielding a knife, ready to kill. Again, just stay inside, lock your doors. Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Hello? Ah! Oh my god, what the hell?
Make
Whoa,
sure you
I
guys
don't know what-
smash that like button because we're about to.
Whoa! What the fuck? What the hell was that? Whoa, check this
What's
out, guys. You
happening?
can actually get out right here. What the hell? Whoa, what the? Oh!
After falling
What is
into a hole and
happening?
breaking his camera, the fam feels as if something is telling him he shouldn't be there, and he decides to cut the challenge short for his safety.
Yeah, no shit. I'm baffled by this video. In that first jump scare, my screen froze, so I didn't even see what happened. I just heard the noise. And then I like when the guy pipes up and he's like, make sure you guys smash that like button. It's like, you're ruining the moment, you know? Don't tell me to smash the like button while you're trying to scare me. The ghost didn't want him there. He just needed to leave. They were throwing things at him. Whoa, this is crazy right off the bat. What the hell?
Nothing about the strange man's appearance seems supernatural. However, his unusual and somewhat threatening behaviour was certainly enough to convince the explorer to leave. Sometimes people are the scariest creatures of all.
What the hell? I don't know what, if they saw him and then started running. I didn't see anyone at the beginning when they started screaming and running, but there's also a glare on my screen right now and I can't really see. It's like I'm partially blind right now. Just seeing a lone person in a creepy building, that's when you know something's If you see a group of people, then yeah, they're just hanging out, they're trying to cause chaos, but when it's just one person lurking in the shadows, things aren't right and you need to get the hell out of there.
Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I just don't get it, like, not really sure. Oh shit!
But then, CJ notices someone else is in the area with him.
Alright, so... Oh my gosh.
I didn't see anyone, but I felt his fear. It's too dark. There's always going to be someone in the woods chasing after you. I don't want to be in the dark or in the woods at any given time. I'd rather just be inside hiding. That's what I do. When you don't see me on camera, I'm just hiding.
However, when it comes time to leave the building and head back to safety, something terrifying seriously spooks the explorers. The group has to travel through a wooded area. As they walk and chat about their evening, the quiet of the night is suddenly shattered by an inhuman growl echoing through the trees.
Make sure you don't get caught on the fence.
Does this sound like bees?
Holy...
I mean, again, my screen froze right when that was going down. It sounded like what Macaulay Culkin had in My Girl right before he died. Just kidding. We don't talk about that. Sorry to trigger anyone who loves My Girl. I personally don't like the movie. What urban explorers get, it seems, all of them. Either they're all faking it, or they're all cursed because they keep going into these abandoned buildings and seeing shit they shouldn't see. That's what I do. I don't explore. I don't want to see shit I shouldn't see.
So big! We did it, man! Freeway free!
I am never going back in the water.
Me either. No way.
That's it.
Ah,
That's the biggest thing I've ever seen.
stuff summer.
No. Let's go to the local pool. Look at the size of that thing.
I mean, they said it all, right? What do I need to say to add on to their reactions? It's perfect. They did it. That's an enormous... Holy smokes. Just imagine being in the water next to that. Even if you knew it wasn't going to eat you, just knowing that something is that massive, it's on a whole other level. I do have to ask, though, what was up with the sound at the beginning? Like, does this shark have a jet engine? Is that what they were communicating to us? That noise going on, it was revving its engines, firing up to take off from the water and fly off into outer space? Because that's what it sounded like to me. Holy smokes. What's the scale of this thing? What's that thing on the ground that it's nosing at? I feel like if I knew the size of that, then I'd know the size of this shark. But otherwise, I'm kind of lost in terms of the actual size and scale. Definitely big. Definitely beefy. Compared to what? That's what I need to know.
Bull shark I've ever seen. By far the biggest I've ever caught. Look at the size of this bull shark.
Oh my
It is enormous.
goodness.
It might be 10 feet long. Hooks out. Ready, guys? Release the fish now. Bro, that's the biggest bull shark I've ever seen in my life. What about you? Oh yeah. That was giant.
Who? Who just reaches over the side of a boat and grabs onto a shark? I guess if that's your life, but holy moly, to see a 10-foot bull shark and just be like, yep, I'm just gonna grab onto it really quick. To look at it is one thing, to have it on your rod is another thing, but to reach over to the side and just hold onto it really quick, and then grab your bolt cutters and snip it free. At least they snipped it free, right? Good for them.
What? Have you? Yeah. An old boot, I bet. You okay?
This is a found footage movie? This feels like, need a little more context. I don't know what is going on. This man is fishing, not being super successful, obviously wrestling with a major one, but then something crunches the ship and chaos ensues. Somebody let me know if you know more context. I would love to figure it out.
Like the one registered in 1987 in Western Australia. There, precisely at Ledge Point, one of the largest white sharks in history was trapped, whose measurement was verified by marine specialist John Ernest Randall. The amazing length of the shark was nothing more or less than 19.7 feet. Tremendous beast.
That is a large shark. Like, what do you do when you encounter something like that? Really and truly. Like, do you just kind of like revile, just look at it in awe, bow down? I'm glad that, you know, our marine specialist, John Ernest Randall, gets a big shout out here. Good for you, John Ernest Randall. God, yeah.
It looks like a scene straight out of Steven Spielberg's thriller Jaws. But for marine biologist Ocean Ramsey, this rare sighting of a great white tells the real story of the ocean's fiercest predator. Ramsey and a team of divers were studying tiger sharks off the waters of Oahu, Hawaii on Tuesday when they encountered the enormous predator and captured the dramatic interaction on film. Ramsey estimates the shark, a female, tips the scales at over 2 tons, and it's 8 feet wide and nearly 20 feet long, making it one of the largest in the world, and the oldest too, 50 years old.
Ooh, 50 years. Congrats. Happy birthday, I guess. What better name for a marine biologist than Ocean Ramsey? Like, that's destiny right there. Her folks knew the moment she popped out. They're like, she's gonna find an enormous shark one day. That's, like, the guts to swim next to that is incredible. Like, I've seen Shark Week where people hop in on tanks and they've got bars and, you know, a plethora of other gadgets, trinkets, and technology to keep you safe from a shark. But just to swim in some pretty regular looking snorkeling gear right beside it, that is some unbelievable guts right there.
She leapt into the water, and first we had to wait because there was first of all nothing to see. All of a sudden, out of the deep blue, there she came. We didn't realize immediately that she was very big. Deep blue is a very large
beefy shark,
and she has a ground around Guadalupe, Mexico.
Woo! She's pushing on it.
Calm, not at all nervous, and she was just doing a circus around us. She was very interested in us, and has been really looking at us.
See, that's the kind of technology that I would need to ever go anywhere near a shark. I need to have like a cage that I could retreat to. I'd need to have all sorts of fish around so it focuses on the fish and not me. But yeah, that's a very curious shark, really looking out and seeing what's going on. Maybe I totally misheard this, but was the shark pregnant? Possibly? No, that's not how fish work, right? Fish lay eggs and leave them. So I don't know. Maybe it just looked wide. Like, it looked like it was like wider than your average shark.
2 commercial fishermen named Guadalupe and Baltzar entered the Sea of Cortez in search of what they normally caught, such as sole or other types of fish. What they never imagined was that they would encounter a huge shark off the coast of the state of Sonora, northwest of Mexico. When they threw their nets into the water, surprisingly, a large white shark, 19.8 feet long, was caught between them. Fortunately for these men, the 2,000-pound heavy white pointer was lifeless. Very frightened by what happened, they decided to tie him from the neck to their small 22-foot-long boat and tow it 2 miles to the shore, where dozens of people finished helping to drag him to the beach.
I like they call it a large white shark and then a great white shark. I know it wasn't a great white, but that's just a funny way to refer to a shark. So you think it was already dead when they caught it? Because, sure, yeah, I guess. That is freaky. That's a big boy. That's 20 feet, basically. Chomp you, eat you up. Brazilian coastline. Come to Brazil.
Did you see it?
No.
If not, I'll play it again more clearly, and you can see in the top right corner there's a Megalodon.
Holy smokes.
As you just saw, a colossal shark just swam by. Now you may assume this is a whale, as whales could be around this size. However, there actually isn't any whales in the area, so it can't have been that.
Are we sure it's a Megalodon? I feel like those might be extinct. I feel like a Megalodon might not actually exist in our current time frame. Can you prove there's no whales off the Brazilian coastline? This guy sounds very confident in his evaluation of the situation, but I feel like there's a lot of ifs, ands, and buts going on here. There definitely was something enormous shifting under the water, but I'm not sure that it would be a Megalodon.
Hey, here's one go. Drive away, drive away, drive away. Drive away, I need to get make sure that hook's in him good. Okay, good. Good. Okay, we're good. Stop. He's gonna go. Alright, ready, Scott? You ready? You got the leader? Where do you want me to bring the leader? Up the side of the boat? You got that leader? Slowly. You'll freak out. Okay, I'm backing the drag down. Let's take a good look at this shark. Oh, look at that.
Holy smokes. That is, not as big as the other ones we've seen, but definitely impressive that they've got that on the rod, and they're just like, yeah, let's keep driving, let's drag it along. Why not? What kind of shark was that? That wasn't a tiger shark, not a great white. It takes a lot of guts, again, to encounter something like that and just be like, yep, we're gonna drag it along. We're pulling this along on the rod. The one, the only, the legend. I have a shirt with Siren Head on it, and I just couldn't find it. So, geez Louise, Siren Head. Got to love him. He is a legend. So many different details revealed over the years. So many rip-off games for the Google Play Store. Oh, it's such a classic. There's just so much going on here. It's just like, I don't know, it's the cryptid of the past year or so. Probably more than that, let's be real. A lot of people don't seem to like Siren Head that much, eh? People are mad that it's, I don't know, not as iconic as Slender Man, who knows? But Siren Head is a beauty of a creature with so many fun details. The fact that it can like mimic sounds, the fact that it makes those wailing noises, the fact that it can burst your eardrums and kill you, that it hangs people in trees. It's beautiful. It's a tall, fleshy creature whose head is a pole with 2 speakers attached. It lurks in wooded areas, emitting disturbing noises. Sometimes they're distorted radio reports or weird, garbled pieces of music. My favorite is when he plays the number stations. That's a really cool thing, eh? When it's just like, it's broadcasting numbers and you're not really sure if it's trying to communicate something or if it's just total randomness. Siren Head is just a beautiful classic creature that's gonna go down in history as a wonderful, freaky cryptid. I love it. I love everything about it. Shattered. Oh God, it's just coming to get me, isn't it? This thing has seen me and it wants me not to be around anymore. Look at those fingers. Look at that face. Kind of looks like the ma from that one episode of SpongeBob where they're selling chocolates. Oh God. This creature seems to be a red, pale, crooked-handed body that was missing, throttled, and broken. It is thin looking and has black eyeballs and white glowing eyes, and it seems to be frowning with its mouth open like the night watchman. It It has 5 fingers like any other human. They're about 6 to 8 inches long. It was found by some other people at night. What do you mean it was found by some other people at night? What do you mean some other people? Who are these people and where are they now? That's what I'm interested in. I don't know what's going on here. This thing could have grabbed the photographer and carried them off to freaking Kingdom Come and we would never know. This thing doesn't even have a body. Like I feel like I can see right through it to the glowing lights behind it. And we're near a fence too, so we're out like kind of in the middle of nowhere, it appears. Maybe like kind of like off from a small town, or there's like some houses out in the fields nearby a bigger town. And this thing just floating along and picking people up. I bet you they pick people up and carry them up into the sky, never to be heard from again. Sky tentacles. Oh my goodness, that's freaky. That looks like something Lovecraftian coming down. That could be like a color out of space adjunct. That could be some sort of horrible like Yog-Sothoth creature coming down to grant some forbidden knowledge. There's lightning too, which is insane. I've never seen anything like that from Trevor. Is this a true Trevor Henderson creation? I wonder. The sky tentacles depict 4 large jet black tentacles coming out of what appears to be a rift in the sky. The tentacles themselves are of varying lengths and resemble the legs of a spider, specifically a tarantula, due to having many dark hairs or possibly spikes covering them. Yeah, they do look pretty tarantula-esque, don't they? Oh man. You think what it is like they're like big tentacles, but then the hairs are actually like littler spider legs, just ready to just grab at and scratch at and skitter over anything that it can get close to. I mean, it's pretty far up in the sky, so maybe it's trying to grab like some sky-based creatures, you know, eat a spider, eat a bird or two. Either way, I mean, this seems to be a pretty a rare occurrence, you know, captured not too often. The Stalker. Hold on, I'm gonna get up nice and close. Okay, for a second I thought it looked like Longhorse, and I'm like, that's just Longhorse, but it is not just Longhorse. Look at it! Look at that horrid beast looming above the city street. See, that's not something you want to encounter while walking around late at night. It has long hair, a big mouth, long arms and neck, but it seems to be unnoticed, so maybe it's like Good Boy who only appears in pictures. He has long black hair in his head and a huge wide smile on his face. Outwardly, it resembles a nervous houseguest or country road creature. The creature can be quiet, despite its huge size, and moves quickly and crawls on the walls. Its height reaches from 8 to 12 meters. He is a bloodthirsty maniac who kills people and other monsters. Very resilient and durable. Oh my goodness, there's just so much wrong with this thing. With its eyes, with its smile, with its spindly arms, and the way that it just kind of like hangs over the cityscape. It's one of those things where if you accidentally like looked up at the night sky one night and you saw that right above you, like you just stop existing, right? Like you don't scream, you don't run, you don't cry, you just go like, oh, and you're gone. You're never seen again. That's that. The bridge worm. Now this is a classic. So this is a bridge worm with its face covered, because I'm going to read the text after, but I know for a fact that bridge worms, they live under the bridges and they have kind of like a humanoid, like pale face most of the time, but then it opens up and there's another like red, bloody tooth and flesh and vein face under there, and it's just absolutely god-awful. Bridge worm. As their name implies, the bridge worms tend to lair beneath bridges and other overpasses. They're known for using fake faces to lure their prey and then eat them when it was too late. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They got a fake face. They look like quasi-friendly, like sort of like sad. Like they almost look like Strong Sad from Homestar Runner cartoons. But then when you get up close, it's like, and it's just this god, like it's like all their skin's been torn off and it's just raw flesh and they're ready to eat you. And that's that. Bridge worms. Terrifying. The Wandering Faith. Now here's another kaiju-esque one, eh? Like it's so big it doesn't even all fit in frame. Like you can't even, its neck just ascends right out of the frame. And based on the type of photo this is, which is a very wide landscape, the scale of this thing is absolutely horrifying. It's enormous, it's huge, it's gigantic. The Wandering Faith depicts gigantic quadrupedal creature wandering through a small town. It has 4 massive legs that have 2 joints bending slightly in different directions. They appear to be quite skeletal in appearance, as the shape of the bones are visible. Given the shape of its legs, they most likely either end in hooves, elephantine feet, or it does not possess any feet at all, only walking on stumps. What's the difference between a stump and a hoof? Probably not a whole lot, but yeah, I mean, these things could just like stab into the ground. It could be levitating for all we know, right? Like it could just like exist like in another plane, and we can sort of see it entering ours, but it's just like moving along, not actually making contact with anything. These kaiju creatures, these branchy, viney, skinny skeleton creatures, man, I don't know what you do about them. It's not even like Godzilla where it's like beefy, you know, and you know you can hit it because it's so big. They're spindly. These things are spindly. The chicken ghost. Oh god, yeah. This is I think this is similar to that one of the bird scavenging farmers' fields done up. This is like his like done up in like the patron saint style, right? It almost looks like something you could put on one of those holy candles. It's holding up the egg, levitating it. Those eyes, though. Those eyes. Oh boy. They are red. They are dead. They are redemptive. He's got claws of some sort too. Looks absolutely emaciated. You can see the bones in his chest. Those chest bones. Ribs. Not good. The ghost chicken, or god of chickens, is a minor deity specifically for poultry. While he is frightening, it's stated that he is chaotic good and rarely attacks, as he just defends chickens. Which is bad news for a lot of folks, especially those of us who are trying to eat healthy, you know, the chicken and rice and broccoli crowd. You may want to watch out for this poultry ghost. He'll get ya. The Misty Storm Wanderers. Oh my goodness. This creature looks to have dark white skin tone with a plantigrade leg structure. In the background, we can see a silhouette of what looks to be a 100-foot tall insect-like creature. The creature looks to have spikes on its head and back, with its legs making up most of its body. It kind of reminds me of the thing from The Ritual, but like on a big scale. What are those called again? The Jotun, or the Jotun. The Norse horrible beast. They do have a lot of similarities, except this is like huge on a whole other scale. My goodness, is it big. It also kind of reminds me of the Pokemon from Pokemon X, the legendary Pokemon. Hold on, Xerneas. That's what it looks like. We're getting legendary Pokemon in this world, but they're much more eldritch than we could have ever imagined. Horrid, terrifying. Meet Nugget. Wow, I love Nugget. Nugget's the most wholesome of Trevor creations, right? It looks pretty raunchy, bloody, raw, despicable in this one, but usually it's like a pinker quality. Looks a little cuter, just like hangs out on desks, runs around. It's like, is it off of Big Charlie? Is it like a little piece that came to life from Big Charlie? I'm not entirely sure, but like I love the Nugget. I love the things that people create with the Nugget in it, right? Like I feel like Nugget has made cameo appearances in like indie horror games. I feel like it's made cameo appearances in other horror artists' works, and of course there's like a plush Nugget that somebody made for Trevor, right? That's like on his work desk. It's just adorable.